Oh my gosh. It's quite a little bit too dangerous for me to go back there again because, yeah, it could be the last photograph I have taken. Hi my friends, a very good morning. What a morning this morning, it's absolutely amazing. We have minus 15 degrees, it's really chilly. And I got quite in a rush this morning. As I arrived here, I spotted the sun going up fantastically at a spot where I'm looking already for a really long time to get a shot there, but for other conditions. I wait for other conditions there, to be honest, but anyway, I just jumped out of the car and I took a really fantastic photograph. It was just to capture the moment. It's not a masterpiece, but yeah, I'm quite happy with it. And then I thought I'd run up because we have clear sky today, and you know, whenever I want to take waterfall photographs, I prefer overcasted weather, and we have clear sky today. So I ran up, but then I saw that the path up here is locked, so it's not possible to get up here. And yeah, what I've done is, because yeah, I'm so super excited because it's so cold and I want to photograph a giant waterfall with fantastic ice cycles on. So I climbed up the forest here around this area what is closed. I came up really high and it was really hard with my backpack. But finally I'm up here, so I'm super happy. And yeah, I mean, the waterfall looks just amazing. I'm not sure if there will be any compositions, to be honest. I didn't think about that. I think I will drink a cup of tea here now and then let's see if it's possible to get a composition here. Let's try for it.
I try to figure out who I am. Not sure what I'm doing here. And the days don't work out the way I thought they would. And before you there was no one who understood. Never found somewhere I fit in. Until I met you I was feeling lost. But you're the one who can make it go away. All you have to do is look at me.
Oh my gosh, I came nearly under a slide. I was over there building up the composition from these ice cycles back there. I wanted to give this illusion of the entrance of a kind of ice cave or something like this, and I made already a test shot, but I still wanted to think about it and tweak about it. So you will see it anyway then, but yeah, I wasn't finished with it, and to be honest, it's quite a little bit too dangerous for me to go back there again, because when you got hit by something like that, yeah, it could be the last photograph you have taken. So also my vlogging camera crashed down. It's well, I hope so. It's my Gorilla Bot is totally out of ice now. Yeah, that's really sad, because I think, I mean, it's not really possible to get out a great composition from the distance, because an ice structure like this really lives from all the details of the ice cycles and so on. So I really would like to go closer here. Maybe I could try it over there, so it could be more safe. So maybe I will go around here. So this were the only thing. But then I think I will go back to the office and let's talk about the photographs or the test shot what I took here, and also the quick photograph what I took down there at the lake. And let's talk about what we could do better there, or what's missing here and so on. So yeah, that we can learn anything out of it.
But you're the one who can make it go away. All you have to do is look at me. Sometimes I can't breathe, but it feels like you're the one who saves me. When I try but don't succeed,
Yeah, I really found the composition here. I came over here where I mentioned before I was more back there, and this is where the slide came down. So yeah, it's really dangerous here. So really just quick here, I will explain the composition roughly, and then let's go to the office and talk about the photographs. So I found this nice scene with these ice cycles here, and I'm really happy with the structure of these ice here in the front with this little bit of snow coverage on, and we get these amazing lines here what leads us into the frame, also these rocks here, and then we got these ice cycles down, and the star of the show here, the star of this composition are these ice cycles here in the distance, or not really this, yeah, it's distance. With the camera is here, this is our foreground, and this is our distance, our subject here. And as I'm really close here to my foreground, I will use the hyperfocal distance to focus so that I get everything pin sharp in my photograph. So I would say, yes, it's truly dangerous here. I don't want to stay all too long here. Let's make the click and let's discuss afterwards about the photographs a little bit more. So let's make the click. So I'm back to my office, and before I went home I also thought about trying to get out the composition in the brook below the waterfall, because yeah, everything was frozen there, and from the distance, at least from the distance, it looked really just fantastic. But as I came closer, I realized that the most trees laying around there in the brook were not trees which came down through a storm or so. These were just logs which were cut maybe by the woodsman and thrown down to the brook or whatever. So for me there was this connection missing to Mother Nature. I didn't really see a compelling story here to get out an artwork. And this is also what I'm missing at the most photographs I took today, to be honest. But it was quite interesting to analyze them, so let's have a look at them. I thought I will show them to you in the reverse order, and finally I will also show you an additional photograph of another version of the lake composition what you haven't seen before. Well, this is the only composition I explained already on location, and so I think it doesn't really make sense to explain it again. Yeah, I'm quite happy with this one, and to be honest, it is the one and only photograph of this day where I was able to think to the end, so to bring my compositional thoughts to the end. And yeah, it's an intimate landscape photograph what tells the story of coldness, ice and snow, and yeah, I mean, the water was frozen and we don't know exactly where it was taken. I mean, we know it of course, but what I mean is, we let quite a lot of space here for the imagination. Viewers who haven't seen this video will be invited to think in their own creative way about this photograph. It is a kind of crane, if you want, what prospers in the brain of the viewer, and yes, I really like this photograph. I know intimate photographs are maybe not everyone's cup of tea, but for me it is really an essential part of landscape photography, and especially of art history photography as well. I think it's even really good training to see in a photographical way and also to build up compositions, so sometimes I really like to create images like this. Well, let's jump to the next photograph. And this is what I meant before, by the way, seeing a story. As already mentioned on the location, I tried to create this imagination of an entrance of a cave. Obviously, there was no cave there, but I managed to build up this composition in a way that at least it looks like one. A very important character of this composition is the eye structure in the front, this diagonal here. It leads us fantastically into the frame from the left and bottom, and through this high contrast to the dark, we get quite led into the cave. You know, contrasts draw the eyes. I had to burn the structure up there a little bit. It was a tiny bit too bright, to be honest, just to avoid that we get led out of the frame. this was one of the things I wanted to think over out on location before the slide came down, but yeah, this thing works for me here. And the second thing what I wasn't sure about on location, or let's say where I had need more time to think about it, was this tiny nose here. And to be honest, I was not happy that it overlaps the eye cycles behind. So the solution had been to move my camera position just a few millimeters to the left so that it had gone over this dark part at the right. But everything else here really works for me as an image. I also love these big eye cycles in the foreground, as there is a repetition to the midground and also into the cave, what gives a fantastic feeling of depth and leads our eyes back to this thought vanishing point into the cave. So I'm really happy with it. I just feel maybe that, yeah, that I'm not 100% finished on it because of this one issue, but I think I can come away with it. So let's have a look at my lake photograph, and to be honest, I have even two versions of it. The versions you saw already and the version with an, yeah, even better composition. And let's start with this second one. Obviously, I was absolutely too late on location, and so I missed the right timing. Anyway, I really like this composition. This pattern on the eyes leads us into the frame, also this kind of ice line at the right. The grasses block our view back to the land. We are more drawn to the rock with the crosses because we get an amazing high contrast to the bright background. I place this subtle reflection of the cross at a position that we recognize it a bit better that there is ice on the water. This gives us a bit more plasticity, and it also helps our eyes to get led back to the rock through the reflection and also through the ice line left beside. And to be honest, there are just two things I don't really like here. The one thing is how the lens seems to sting to this rock here at the right hand side. Yeah, it had been better to go a tiny bit more to the right with the camera position, but this is just a tiny issue for me, what I could maybe come away with it. The biggest problem here for me is that the sun was already too high. I mean, this illuminated triangle beak looks amazing, but we got also this beak at the left illuminated, and this unfortunately leads our eyes out of the frame. I think 5 minutes earlier and this photograph had got a quite strong image, really 5 minutes. But yeah, what should I say, sometimes it is like that. And to be honest, I realized these things already out on location, so what I've done is I stepped a tiny bit more to the right and increased my focal length. And this is the photograph you saw already. With this I solved the problem with the needle at the right, and I also cut out the illuminated peak at the left. I have still a bit of reflection here at the eyes, but yeah, the other one had been better. What I'm not happy about this is, in the one hand, that the clouds moved exactly in front of the peaks, what's not good to be honest, and that the high grasses at the right hit the frame at the right hand side, because when we have a look at the other photograph, the grass gets lower to the frame, but looks a little bit more pleasing. All in all, nice shots I think, but unfortunately not perfect, or let's say the compositions are just not finished. However, not sure which of these two versions you prefer, just leave me a comment below, I were really interested about. So overall I think the very important thing we can learn from this photography day is it is really that important to take the time out on location, arrive early enough and think your compositions to the end. But most importantly, always watch out for slides. My friends, I hope you enjoyed this video. If yes, I were really happy if you could give me a thumb up, share this video with your friends on Facebook or Instagram or wherever. I thank you so much for watching. See you next Saturday. Bye.